mantra. Slave song, slave ship, rip skin, maybe rip bones. But no matter how close I am, my ancestors speak. They tell me they're tired as a friend on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep. Longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed. Begging the generations remember our story.
Yo, 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 yo. Good morning, peace, blessings, glory, praise, honor to the Most High. Happy Tuesday. Shout out to my poets, writers, and content creators. Shout out to everybody that is a part of this history, a part of this discussion. We're going to be here for a little bit. I got something that I want to present to the general public, anybody who cares to observe and be a part of the discussion here this morning. The gentleman that is presenting this, I can't think of your name right now. My apologies. It's no disrespect. But I want to give you your flowers. I thank you for presenting this to the general public. The Nolan Wells case has been the center of so many conversations over the last few weeks. We just want to see justice. We want a conclusion. We want the right people to be held responsible and accountable for their actions involving this case. Oh, it's going to be a very lengthy one. But that's the whole point of it. You want to be detailed. And you want to know how other people feel about this whole thing. So I'm going to shut up. I'll be stopping in between the clips. Because bro was cooking. Do me a solid, like, share, repost, subscribe. Let the people know that we are on. This is about to get very, very, very interesting.
I was scrolling, looking for some videos. I found something very, very interesting. Now, remember, in the previous videos, we figured out that the people that are involved or that were around Nolan Wells, they're very, very connected. So much so that they're connected to like politicians and shit. Now, this goes deep because this lets me know that there are people that's out there that's really trying to cover things up. And as we've seen Christine Wansley on this talk show, she said when she informed the police officers of what was going on with her son, that the police officer, he just waved it off and was careless. And she said, "Where's the urgency?" But what we about to go over now is a clip and an audio of police officers going to the alleged judge house, y'all. But before we get into that, y'all make sure y'all hype this video. Make sure you like to get this out there in the algorithm. And please hit the subscribe button. It's only a button. I've seen some people say, yeah, I've been rocking with you for 2 years. And, you know, I just decided to hit the subscribe button last week. We can't get nowhere as a people doing shit like that, y'all. So for those that are just sitting there and you still haven't hit the subscribe button, we waiting on you. We need all hands on deck. We got to prove to God that we can move as a unit. Let's get into it, y'all.
Negative. We're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all are en route to the judge's house or from the judge's house? En route to the judge's house. That's 10-4. I keyed up on you. Appreciate it. 10-4.
32, finish up with whatever you got and get down here.
Currently dealing with a potential missing person.
You have all the information from the 1050.
10-4?
1024, 108, and me J2.
10-4.
Two guys in front of guy on the sand are fighting out in the water. Now watch his feet go up.
I want y'all to pay close attention, because when I say all we have is us to rely on, I'm gonna need everybody to get with it. My people, hear my voice, please. All we have is us. Watch this.
Hey y'all, hey, there has been some update on Christine Wansley's legal team. And the legal team now consists of Ahmad R. Smith, a African-American attorney with A.R. Smith Law PLLC, who joined her case on August the 11th. Which this is very interesting because once he entered into the case, it led to the withdrawal of three of the other YT attorneys, Gary Bufkin, Luke Whitaker, and Joel J. Averett from Carol Bufkin PLLC, who
So they said, oh, he coming on? We don't want to be a part of it no more.
the motion to withdraw from representation of Christine Wansley on August the 12th of 2026. The legal team is currently still working on obtaining records for social media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It does not change the case at all. Anything that they have found while they were working for this case is still, it's not going to cause any prejudice or undue delays. But they did not explain why they withdrew. But that's questionable. I don't know.
Why you think they withdraw? Why? All snakes can't be trusted. And I'm not going to try to figure out which snake is venomous or not. Now, what scares me is that being as though that they've been on a case and they know certain things that the other side don't know, are they taking that information and revealing it anywhere? These are my questions. Were they threatened by anybody? Well, all of a sudden, the black guy come through. Y'all want to leave now. All we have is us, y'all. We need all hands on deck, y'all. Because
You know, the thing that bothers me so much about this case is that it just comes off like everybody is doing everything in their power to conceal information. That's it. There's no ifs or buts about it. Everybody is in cahoots somehow. And then when you bring other entities into the situation that have no communication with you whatsoever about what your plans are, how you're going to go about concealing this or lying about this, that's when it gets tricky, because you can't barter with them. You can't force them to do what you want to do. You can't make them see what you want to see in order for this plan to work out. That's what it sounds like. But go off, sir.
because these evil people, no matter what position that they're in, they're going to show their true colors for the world to see. And what that's going to do is ignite a wake up in our people. That's what we want.
We begged him to get on the boat. He wouldn't get on the boat. It's things like this. You are locking yourself down to specific facts. And what law enforcement does from that point is they either verify or disprove those specific facts. And once you start poking holes in somebody's story, what that leads to is statements of, oh, well, that's not what I meant. What I meant was this. You make another statement, they poke holes in that, and so on and so on. Classic law enforcement behavior, but this Warren Hudson guy is doing it for them. The cops just have to sit back and watch. Now, it's possible this guy had absolutely nothing to do with it, but if he did, if he is remotely involved, if he has information, he is committing just a classic blunder. He needs to keep his mouth shut. Don't talk to the cops. Don't go on a podcast and talk about it. It just boggles the mind sometimes what people do, things that they're not supposed to do. Anyhow, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Tell me in the comments. I appreciate everybody watching. This is Keith the Lawyer.
The whole point of doing interviews in cases like this, to me, is for control. You got an angry group of black people, an angry group of people in general who are blowing up the internet spaces, asking for answers. They want results. They're not doing enough. And people who want to know what the hell is happening. That's the bottom line. So what happens is people reach out to you. They say, hey, I want you to share your story. You probably can't give us too much, but let's get ahead of this thing. You might be able to finesse or at least convince the general public that this is not what y'all think it is. Give us a little sympathy and it's going to be all right. That's why most people do it. You have like your PR team and certain folks in your ear. They're saying, look, we got to give them something. If we don't give them anything, they're going to burn the house down. So I think that's where that comes from. They think, jumping in front of it is really going to help them, but it really doesn't at all. Sarah, quick recap, and then I'll bring you up. This is about Nolan Wells. I don't know if you're familiar with Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells was found face down in the water, unalive, in Mississippi. It's a very, very popular case right now because it's another black kid who was found killed or allegedly found unalive by circumstances outside of anyone else's control, and nobody is having it. No one's accepting that for an excuse. The clip that I'm playing right now goes into the case, parties involved, and it's alluding to a few other sinister things in the process. So let me bring you up real quick. I will continue to play the clip. I hope you are will.
Here you go. Keep the lawyer. I ain't got no problem with that. But some of y'all do, so let's talk about it. Some of y'all really want this case to just go away. Ain't gonna happen. Yeah, man. Let's focus on Nolan's final hours. Who was present? What Nolan allegedly said and how he was supposed to get home. I mean, it ain't like you left him somewhere where there's a bus route or even where he could walk home, you know? He would have to either swim back to shore or catch a ride on a boat or a helicopter or something. Hey, listen, fam, you ain't got to listen to me. Listen to Warren. Listen to both versions. In fact, listen to all versions of the stories that he tells. Warren can't keep his mouth shut. Loose lips, same ships, man. You ain't heard? To the Tatum interview backfired. We get to that on another one because I got something for that. I got something for that. The times, the locations, specific claims can potentially be compared with electronic and physical evidence. That's something they probably didn't think all the way through. Warren versus the evidence. So let's forget about the internet rumors for a moment. Let's compare Warren's claims against the GPS phone data, the videos, photos, and other witnesses. That's all that really needs to be done. Because Warren ain't got to convince me. His story has to survive the evidence. It is.
Man, shout out to the OG Willie D for putting in that work, man. Y'all remember one of the boys said, Nolan was always trying to get on the boat with us. He always wanted to ride with us. Why in the hell would he choose to be on some damn island if the homies is ready to get up out of there? I think what we heard in that Cito call, they not gonna gaslight us. That was what it was. That's what it was. And you know what? The world heard it.
So what we're about to see next is they're gonna turn on each other. They're gonna point the finger, and now they're gonna be a battle between one family against the other family. Oh yeah, it's gonna get deep. It's because the evidence is so overwhelming that they're not trying to look like murderers. Nah. They're privileged, you know what I mean? They think they're privileged, but they don't want to be murderers. And they thought they can get away with it. So now, watch how they're going to battle with one another, family against families, attorney against attorney. Watch this. Privilege against privilege is coming. It's going to all come. Watch.
I don't think the loyalty is going to run that deep, being as though that they are young men. They don't have enough skin in the game to be loyal to one another like that. So if one of them is keeping the other's secret, he's not going to be able to go the distance to keep that secret. With everything going on the internet, and you have to be seen outside. I know you want to go to the movie theater. I know you want to go out with your girl, but you holding in this secret, and now you got to walk around with shit on your face, all because of this guy. You know something, but you're not saying nothing. I don't think they are that tough.
I don't think so either. And quite frankly, you know, I've seen this in many, many communities. I mean, specifically mine's, where it's this, you see something, but you don't see nothing. The snitch code, you don't run your mouth, you know. It doesn't really matter how many times you put your cookie cutter men and women in front of a camera for the audience to witness. You're not going to convince nobody that this young man just died of alcohol poisoning or there was nothing suspicious going on, when all the evidence and the facts suggest that there's more here than we know about. Period.
To hold that in, and I think somebody gonna crack, y'all.
I've chimed in on the Nolan Wells of it all yet because I'm still synthesizing the information. But I just watched a video. It is midnight. I just finished a workout and something clicked. I watched a video that made something else click that I watched earlier today, and that's this. The kid calls for a tow. The woman, Vicky, calls the captain to do the tow. And she says, this kid's grandfather, this Jerry Ackerman, is a member. Before she says the guy's name, the captain says, Jerry? I just got off the phone with him. I literally just got off the phone with him. And he said that they don't need a tow, that they're fine. So, hold on. The grandson is calling for the tow simultaneous to the grandfather calling the captain of the towboat saying they don't need a tow before the captain gets a call from Vicky. When did the kid call the grandfather? While the boat is sinking, he called grandfather for what could grandfather possibly do for you? He called the grandfather for what the fuck do we do? This kid's dead. Grandfather said, you got to make a trail that you tried to get help. There was an accident. Something happened. The boat's going under. Okay, it's a boat. Call. So there is a recording of you trying to get help for something, and we'll figure it out later. I think that their story has evolved.
That's why he was on a phone call like, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody told me to call you. That's all I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
But that was what the grandfather thought of then, to create a timestamp in history of what was happening, what they were doing, where they were, and that there was a completely different emergency happening, nothing to do with Nolan, okay? And the grandfather did not want to get billed for this tow, and obviously didn't want the captain to go and happen upon whatever the fuck's going on, so he preempts the emergency call to the captain and says, hey, you might get a call, but they don't need it. I walked them through it. It's fine. It was an alibi advised by the grandfather. You remember the Murdoch documentary series? You remember that, right? You remember when his son killed a girl in a boating accident, right? And how they completely jumped into action immediately without skipping a fucking beat to do a cover up. They all get back. They all wipe in unison, all wipe their social media. Why would you have to do that? Well, why the fuck would you have to do that? If you left him on the island, why are you deleting all of your social media?
Exactly. Come on, man. What's so difficult about this trial or this case? We know exactly what's going on. We're not forensic scientists. No, we weren't there, but y'all couldn't get rid of the evidence fast enough. Matter of fact, the frantic, oh shit, Nolan is dead. Is he dead? Is he dead? We heard the audio. Y'all had to move immediately. You couldn't just wait. I've watched Forensic Files damn near half my life. First 48, all that. I know. You got to spring into action immediately. You got to start doing whatever you can to make it look like you had nothing to do with this or you had no connections to it. like, you gotta put it this way. I'm a screenwriter. I write my own stories and all that. You have to know how to create something out of thin air. You got to give life to it. You got to be able to convince people that what you're selling them is real. And that's exactly what I believe happened here in this situation. A group of white boys got rich and wealthy, well-connected family members that they went to for counsel. And that's why you see so many speckled pieces scattered all around, and why it's getting to the point where if we weren't putting pressure on them and calling out all the contradictions, they wouldn't be feeling as uncomfortable as they are right now. Before I finish playing the clip, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about cover-ups? High case, not so highlighted, important. How do you feel about stories where, you know, people try their best to finesse the system and play in your face like we didn't see what happened or we don't know what's going on?
Yeah. It's called money talks, bullshit walks. You know what I mean? It's a cover-up of a cover-up. You know what I mean? It's because they got the money, got the power, and because they can. And they've got the connections, and they're paying off people. You know, the higher you are, you know, it's harder to have access. But hey, we live in a world where everything's all about, oh, we've got to keep this on the down low, or we've got to shut this down, or you're dead. That's what, you know, it's at a cost of someone's life. But I did test it. But hey, it's normal. It seems to be a normal practice. You know what I mean? People don't care about the person's well-being. You know what I mean? They don't want to get caught out and their ass is on the line, and they're not going to have the lifestyle that they've actually worked so hard for, where they know how to manipulate the system and know how to pay people off, and they're in some type of power, and they're the ones that dangling the carrot and just treating everyone below them horrible like shit because they can. So the answer is no.
Other thing.
Hold on, before I forget my thought. Most of us have watched Forensic Files. Most of us have watched these crime documentaries and all of that. The majority of the people that be on those documentaries and shit, who are they? Exactly. That brings me to my next thought. Certain people specialize in crimes and how to get away with it and shit. And what happens is they accumulate that knowledge. There are certain rumors that's passed down to their grandchildren. I heard great granddad. Perfect example. Do y'all remember the Zodiac killer? So a couple years back, the Zodiac killer's grandson came out and said, "That's my granddad." They said, "Prove it." And he proved it. I'm showing y'all that this is a part of people's lineage. This is what they do. This is why they're so quick with it. And you got people on the internet like this. How they think of that so fast? No, you can't think of that fast because that ain't how your people got down. But there are people who specialize in crimes and shit and how to get away with it.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit. They just look at the government. Look at how they finesse the people every day. how they stay rich and they pass their wealth on from generation to generation. They have a system.
It's called nepotism.
Yeah. And they have a blueprint that they follow that absolutely works. And it's only because we, for the most part, don't study enough or look into these things deeper to catch on to it, because maybe we're distracted. Maybe it's just not something that is in our blood to be bloodthirsty and gluttonous like that. But yeah, it's always somebody trying to outsmart the police or the FBI or technology.
Totally. When I had a car accident, the policeman was kind enough, because he could see I was, which you are, you distress. My car was parked in a disabled, spot. It got swiped like it was a total write-off. We had a short conversation. He dropped me off at the car yard, or the yard, so I needed to pick up my belongings. And I was like, I was just felt so violated and so stripped of just who I am and what I'm about. And what he said to me, and it still sticks to my core, he goes to me, look, you're in the United States right now. I went, yeah, I know. Things done differently out here. And what he said to me, he goes to me, sheep are dressed up as wolves, or wolves are dressed up as sheep. And I went, dang. When he had said that, and he's supposed to protect and serve the community, oh, for fuck's sake, you're on your own. Sorry.
Nah, you good. Hold up. We still got a little bit. Let me play this real quick. Hold on.
That's why they so quick with it, y'all.
Another thing.
I couldn't imagine that they want to get underage drinking on camera. So what they had articulated to me, that it wasn't abnormal for people not to snap and not to do a lot of pictures and things like that, because they were focused on.
But you told me they showed you pictures and videos.
Yeah,
so
but
they
it's
did
not
take
uploaded.
pictures and videos.
No. It's not a lot of pictures, and they weren't uploaded.
Shut the fuck up, Brandon, because he is spinning his wheels here, trying to convince Nancy that the boys were telling the truth. They let me see their videos on their phones. And that, of course, they wouldn't want to film themselves drinking. They all film themselves drinking. No, but they wouldn't upload it onto Snap. Here's why he just fucked up. The mother, one of the first days after this all happened, the mother said, we wanted his phone because he had snapped, and we wanted to see the snaps that he had snapped. And the snaps were deleted. So she had seen his snaps. The whole point of Snapchat is that you are able to post things that maybe you don't want a record of, but at least everyone knew you were having fun. The stuff deletes. You know if someone screenshots it. So he had absolutely snapped. They wanted to go into his phone, into his account, because you can see your historic snaps.
Yes.
And those were gone.
Yeah.
And today, Crump, family via Crump, subpoenaed Snapchat and Meta. Why would they do that if they didn't absolutely see his snaps that those kids deleted? And this Brandon Tatum is helping them cover it up. Ew, Brandon Tatum. Anyway, those are my thoughts right now.
Sometimes when I'm speaking from old memories, I may not have the facts and everything lined up exact, because I'm getting it off the fly. But I know y'all was looking at me like, what is he talking about? Check this out, y'all.
My grandpa is the mother Zodiac killer, and this is not clickbait. So please, I need the power of the internet to share this, bookmark it, and blow my comment section up. I want to start off by saying this is not just based off physical appearance. I typed in my grandpa's name on Google the other day, and to my surprise, internet sleuths have been throwing my grandpa's name around for years, connecting him as the Zodiac motherfucking killer. As you can see here in all these pictures on the screen somewhere, that it looks exactly like my grandpa. Let's talk about it. My grandpa was a Vallejo police officer. Yes, the same area where the Zodiac killer's fucking killings took place. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the Darlene Sharon murder. Let me tell you, this is not in any order, but the more evidence I give you, you are going to be convinced that my grandpa is in fact the Zodiac killer. Darlene Farron and her boyfriend Mike are...
He said he's a police officer. The 3Ks, they not walking around with the hoodies anymore. They are the judges. They are the lawyers. They are the police officers. Keep that in mind.
Forgot the fucking guy's name. We're driving around Vallejo one night, a night that my grandfather happened to be on duty, driving an unmarked police car and wearing plain clothes. Mike, who ended up surviving the shooting, said that they were being followed around by this car all night in Vallejo before they pulled into Blue Rock Springs. They said when they parked, the car pulled in, a man hopped out of the car, and Darlene, the girl who passed away, said, "Oh my God, that's Richard. He's gonna kill us both." Apparently, she was dating a police officer in Vallejo behind her husband's back. She was apparently a thotty. Rest in peace, Darlene Farron. So this guy in her passenger seat is one of her many boyfriends. And it was well known by her friend group that she was dating a Vallejo cop, although she never told them the name. She had a painting party at her house a few weeks before her murder. And it was said that my grandfather, Richard Hoffman, showed up uninvited, and she told her circle of friends that she is scared to death of him, and he was not invited there. My grandpa denies these claims. He says he never laid eyes on her, but then later goes on to say, "I know that she worked at a restaurant locally here in Vallejo." How the fuck have you never laid eyes on her, Grandpa? You tell me about that. Let's move forward. As Mike said, right before they got shot, she said, "That's Richard. He's going to kill us both." My grandpa's name is fucking Richard Hoffman. Now let's talk about something else that I thought was really weird. In a letter that the Zodiac wrote, and my grandpa's police reports, and also this poem that I'm going to talk about later, my grandpa spells the word "until" wrong. He spells it wrong. He puts 2 L's at the end. Where in multiple letters of the Zodiac wrote, he also spells "until" with 2 L's at the mother end. Well, let's talk about the Sherry Bates murder that took place a couple years before the Darlene Farron murder. She was in a library doing her homework. She had just moved from Nebraska. Why do I mention that? Because my grandpa lived in Nebraska. My mother, biological mother, was born in Nebraska. My grandpa was also in the Navy. Sherry Bates' brother was also in the Navy. This is weird, right? It's all coming together. Well, this murder took place. She was at the library studying one night. She leaves and gets shot up. Well, they found a poem handwritten underneath a motherfucking desk. And forensic analysis and handwriting analysis say that is the exact writings of the Zodiac. And they say that this is possibly the first killing that the Zodiac ever did. Well, this letter was initialed RH at the very bottom. RH, Richard Hoffman. Forensic analysis experts said that letter was written by the Zodiac. So why is no one connecting this to...
Y'all need to see what these people look like. Y'all need to see what these people look like. So y'all can't trust every smile. Understand the lineages that these people come from. They your regular, average looking people with family secrets that you would never think of, that's hidden in the basements and in the attics. History.
Said that letter was written by the Zodiac. So why is no one connecting this to my motherfucking grandpa? Somebody tell me why. It is said that my grandpa and Darlene, the one who got shot at Blue Rock Springs, had a romantic sexual relationship behind everybody's back, behind my grandma's back. Let's talk about his character. My grandpa's character, he was known in my family to be abusive, controlling, manipulating, and also unfaithful to my grandmother. Now we're going to sit here and pretend that my grandpa didn't do this shit. They also say that the crime scene was tampered with. Why did Darlene's family get a call that she was shot before the cops even knew about it? And that call was placed by a payphone outside of Vallejo Police Department. Someone tell me that. And my grandpa was first on scene to that shooting. And later it was revealed that scene was tampered with. My grandpa showed up on scene within 5 minutes of the shooting being reported. He sent away the officers that responded with him. Who sends away responding officers on a possible double murder? And the crime scene was tampered with. It was later revealed. So you're still going to tell me my grandpa is not the Zodiac? What are we going to do about it? I don't fucking know. My grandpa's on vacation in a grave somewhere. But I'm convinced.
Do y'all know?
That's a lot.
And Nebraska, with all places, it's a big state. But the people there are earthy, nice. They have that country mentality. So, as you know, being the smaller towns and more smaller cities, they don't have the resources as the bigger cities have. They've got the ins and the outs, and they work together. They all have to do is send a phone call or send a text. They have people watching 24/7. They actually pay people, especially like the ones that are not educated. You know what I mean? They've got nothing else better to do. Oh, let's just train these people. They don't know any better. Let's, swing them a couple $100. They'll do it. And once they see something out of character, you know what I mean? How are these things happening so fast? Or how are these things happening at a speeding light? There is a mole. There's an insider that is actually keeping their ears and eyes out. And if they see anything, and obviously, being at that level, the lower level, the higher the hierarchy is, and they are the first people to report it. It's like they climb the ranks. Or we can trust that person. The outsiders. I'm not worried about the hierarchies. The hierarchies are in. They're doing fuck all. You know what I mean? They're just sitting there, just getting high.
Yeah. He sounded like he was bragging a little bit.
Yeah. Of course. Like, he was proud of his grandpa, this grandpa, that. And I'm just like, honey, that's not something to be proud of. But because he's from that mindset or that kind of clout chasing attitude, you know what I mean? He's clutching at straws. That's what he's proud of. That's what he's got. That's his claim to fame at the end of the day. What is he doing? Look at him. He looks like a thug. You know what I mean? What does he do? He just pumps iron every day. Oh, I go to the gym. That's what real work is he doing? You know what I mean?
I like that he brought this up though, because I can understand. Like, I see where he's going with this.
Oh, yeah. There's a cover up of a cover up of a cover up. Yes, definitely.
How many men y'all see at the coffee tables, at your local restaurants? They just chilling. Y'all look at this. How many men y'all seeing like this? Just chilling. And you got your kids with you. They like, hey, little tiger. And they just speaking to your kids. I'm telling you, don't be letting these people rub on your kids' braids and shit. Oh, I like your afro. Get your goddamn hands on my damn child. I'm telling you, y'all, they did a lot of stuff back in their day. These are secrets that they have. But I just wanted to elaborate on that point of why would somebody hurry up and call their grandfather? And why would their grandfather be able to think so quickly? That's the history, y'all. And it's all over us. Understand what America was built off of. But that's the end of the video. I went way over time.
And I'm glad, as I said, this coffee shop that I'm here. Okay, do you know how many times the police are here every morning? Yeah, protect and serve, my motherfucker ass. And I hear the conversations. I'm hearing some shit. And I'm just like, ooh, the inside source. I even hear it because there's a lot of production people come here as well. I hear a lot of inside source. I'm telling you, the higher you are, the dirtier you are. I cannot emphasize it enough. I'm just like, wow. You've got the supposedly badge. You got the supposedly, you've done the background check. You've got chumps that doing your fucking dirty work. That's why you're sitting where you're sitting. That's why you're at the boardrooms. You know what I mean? Because you're doing nothing. You know what I mean? How did you really get up there? How did you get to that position? What did you do? Nothing. How did you get it? Oh, family. Oh, who do you know? It's called nepotism.
Bang, bang, bang.
And you got the honest average Joe that got more talent, know the grit, not afraid to put in the hard yards, and they get overlooked only because they will not suck a dick, or they won't actually, give in to their craziness. Oh, don't even get me started. Ooh, boy. Nepotism is a real thing. And it sucks. It pisses me off. Because I sit around and I thought they can't even tie their own damn fucking shoelace. But they're running Sony Studios. Oh, they're having their morning meetings at a local coffee shop where there's about 8 of them. I'll send you some photos. I'll let you know. And I even hear the coffee guys. They go, oh yeah, they come every morning. They like their setup, and this is when they change shifts. Motherfucker. Don't they have their own coffee station in their own police station? What they ain't protecting and serving. They're seeing, they're monitoring, they're watching, they're seeing how the locals, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, I am seeing, and I'm telling you, and another thing too, it's called, yeah, that's another topic. But as I said, this guy, the thug guy, you know what I mean? What's he doing? And I like how he was showing the paperwork. You mean how you said, was it title? Title was spelt wrong, incorrectly. So that's a cover-up. The report was rewritten. You know what I mean? And it came from the police force, or it came from the high authorities. You know what I mean? They don't want to tell you the truth because the truth is too easy, and it will destroy the people. That's why it's a cover-up of a cover-up of a cover-up. And they'll be out in the streets. Oh, boo-hoo. You know what I mean? That's where you belong.
That whole breakdown made me look at that case like I already felt in my bones that them kids was guilty of something. I felt like they set them up. But the way that he kind of approached this, and then he added on the other person's clip with him trying to be proud about the Zodiac killer being a part of his lineage. That whole breakdown was flawless. I shout out that brother. I appreciate the way that he put that whole thing together. Justice for Nolan Wells. I know y'all trying to set him up. Nobody's buying it. My heart go out to that family, real, because it's like y'all really going out of your way, to put the dirt on somebody who lost their life, and all because you want to keep your lifestyle. Like, that's trash as hell. Just trash. I hate that mom and that dad got to go through this.
Yeah.
But that's the reality, man. There's a bunch of wealthy people.
Yeah.
That have been doing this to us for years.
And it's going to continue, unfortunately. Money talks, bullshit walks. That's why I said that in the opening. It's just how it is, and it's not going to change. And it sucks because I don't want to say we're at the bottom, but we're like the working class that's keeping the society and the economy going. And we're getting, pushed out. But yeah, it's just, yeah. As I said, there's so many layers and levels. Like, where's the evidence? We're at a stage and we're at a point that everything's at our fingertips. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, everything's at our fingertips. You can't hide facts. You can't hide the truth. It's the people that are just evil, or the people that are manipulators, or the higher ups, where they don't want the truth to come out because they know their asses are on the line. The family, the parents, they got to live with that for the rest of their lives. How can that be okay? How can any person, any right mind, you know what I mean? Like, people's livelihoods at stake, it's just so sad. It upsets me, Creed. I don't know. I know, and as I said, I love our talks, I love our shows, and I'm getting we're getting a better sense of who we are as personality, as humans, as people, our minds and our hearts in the right place. And it's so sad that the older we get, the evil it gets. I'm talking society, how things are run, how things are taken care of. At the end of the day, it's a numbers game, and it's all about money. It's what they can bank. And I hate it with a passion. I hate it with a core. You got the losers, or that knucklehead, you know what I mean? Or where he's just like, oh, I gotta, I'm proud. This is what my grandfather, blah, blah, blah. That's your legacy that you're holding on to? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It just doesn't make any sense. But hey, it's just how it is. It's just society. We've just got to, I don't want to accept it. That's the thing. That's why it pisses me off so much. Because it doesn't sit well, because it's just wrong on so many levels.
Everybody's day will come.
Yeah, of course. Yes. But sometimes it needs to be sooner. Sometimes sooner can't be and what, I don't know about you, but when I get pissed, I take it to my own hands. Oh my gosh, retaliation. But you know why? What happens? Because I'm such a good soul and I'm a good person, it backfires. Guaranteed. Because I don't know how to play the manipulation. It's not in me. I try to be a smartass. How's that working out for me? Backfire. 150, not 110, 150. And I'm just like, why can't I just let things slide? Why can't it just work in my favor for a change? You know what I mean? But no, you're right. Karma's a real thing. And it does catch up on you. But sometimes you just got to push the needle. Sometimes it's got to be a little, you got to help it. But karma does serve. Oh, can't be sooner off. But anyway. Oh boy.
Justice for Nolan Wells and everybody else who has been a victim to this corruption.
Yeah.
If they don't answer for it on Earth, they will answer for it in the afterlife. That's guaranteed.
Yeah.
There is no bargaining. There is no Bank of America.
No Bank of America saving you on this one. Yeah, it's true though. It's so true. Like, yeah, I've had too many, Yeah. You know, people say, oh, which it is, the higher you are or the higher up, the easier it gets. And I'm thinking, not necessarily, because there's more manipulation and more lies that you need to cover up. So you have to have a good damn brain. You got to have a good memory. What do they say? Good liars actually have a good memory. You know what I mean? In that sense. But yeah, it's just, yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah, as I said, I'm just looking on the, as you know, Google. Google's always seems to, you know, like who's putting in, you know, false claims and speculations fill an information void. And that's what it is. Sorry, that makes me mad. It's a void. It's a cover-up. I've had no coffee this morning, so just I need to pull back a bit.
It's all good. We had the later portion of the show anyway. But I got my tea right here. You know.
Oh, nice. You're lucky. As I said, good for you.
But we waking up. The people are not stupid.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm so glad. As I said, when I'm out and about, like the light sensitivity, it just woo. That's why I got my shades on. But yeah, I get really horrible headaches. Not that you want to hear that, but yeah, people are waking up. You know, the truth will be told. There are people out there. Like, why is there so many different forms of YouTubes and podcasts, and even like, you know, me and my socials? It was so funny because, you know, AI is always picking up, and even AI says discussing a conspiracy involving a police officer and the Zodiac killer. Conspiracy is the word. You know what I mean? That's the key word. Why is there so much of a cover-up? Oh, it makes me mad. It makes me mad. You know what? I'm glad, as I said, your mind is ticking. My mind is ticking. We're both creators. You know what I mean? Where we see things in a different light. And I love the fact that it is. We have that, like being a creator, we're lucky in a sense of we have a canvas every day, a blank canvas every day that we can paint, create, write, dictate, speculate, discuss, like to an average norm. They don't know what we're talking about half the time. They're in that kind of box mode. You know, I call them the trained monkeys. Well, I call them minions. You know what I mean? Where they don't think for themselves. So having conversations and discussions like this, you know, and hey, I've got nothing to lose at the end of the day. Do you know how many times I've been told, oh, go back to your country? Why? Because I have a point of view? Because I don't sit, I'm not going to stand and listen to your nonsense? You know what I mean? Like, isn't this supposed to be a country of, you know, freedom of speech? But on your terms. What you want to hear. You don't want to hear the truth. People always come up to me, oh, you know, they thank me. I go, you don't need to be thanking me. I needed your backbone. I needed you to know when it was happening, when the heat of the moment. But yeah, so, you know, I'm hoping that our conversations and obviously my different take and your different takes, that you put that pen to paper, create something, short form, script to screen. I'm all for it, man. Docu-series. Ooh, have I got some stories I can tell you? Damn, which, what do you want to know? The Australian version, the Egyptian version, or now the American? Sony is only a mile away from it. Sony's got shit. They give you the Hollywood version. You know what I mean? The polished version. I'll give you some grit. You know what I mean? I've been in rallies downtown in LA, you know, with the Palestines, you know, the ceasefires. I've had some talks. I've had members where they go, we know could they go, they know you by my ethnicity, by my look. I don't need to say nothing. When people know, people know. As you know, it's an untapped, untold, just like energy. I can't, you know, as I said, you've got a background, you've got that. And when you're like, you see what's going on.
Yep.
But yeah, so, oh my goodness. As I said, as I said, I don't know about you. I play the lottery every week. Every week, you know what I mean? And I already know what I'm going to do with the money. You know what I mean? I know what I want to do with the money. Because people like us, we have stories. Unfortunately, it gets overlooked. But it's okay. We're changing I can't even say the word, the trajectory. Yeah. Oh, you said it. Yes, I said it. Oh, yes. You know what I mean? Because people like ourselves have got the willpower, is not afraid to go against the grain. Look, as I said, I've got nothing to lose right now. You know what I mean? In that sense, you know, I want to break, which I am. I know I'm breaking my lineage. I know I'm breaking my bloodline. I know that my family can't keep up with me. You just go to the US because they can't keep up with me. They don't. They go, you're not a part of us. You know what I mean? You're not our. You know, you're not our family. You're not a part of our family. I go, why? Because I'm so unique and so different. I'm not afraid to stand my ground. In that kind of sense, you know. As unfortunately, I know I rub people the wrong way. But a few months, if maybe a few years, you know, they'll get back to me. It's too late. Too late. You know what I mean? My phone, my socials. You know what I mean? They want to apologize or they want to address. I get, oh, no, we're good. We're cool. It's too far gone now. You show me who you truly truly are. But yeah, as I said, just keep bringing these stories. You know, I feel for the parents. Okay, the police, there's a cop car walking by. They're going to stop in and have some coffee. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, you think I'm joking. Like, I love the fact that I've got a sense of what type of, your style and your genre of shows. So I send things in order for you to kind of like, oh, what are your thoughts on this? You know, bring on the show. Obviously, it's up to you at the end of the day. But it's just interesting what goes on there and how they just sugarcoat it and how they give us the polished version. They don't give us the real story. They don't give us what really, really what happened. But anyway, never mind, and more never mind. It is for what it is. You know what I mean?
It's all good. I'm just glad that you could pull up this afternoon, this morning. Shout out to everybody who watched. I appreciate y'all. I will see some of y'all later.
Yes.
I'm working on my other YouTube channel right now.
Yay!
I'm taking all of my projects, my short stories. I'm transferring everything over there.
Nice.
I'm about to start relaunching those. I'm actually about to get back to doing my skits.
Yay!
So
excellent. Yes.
Be on the lookout. I'm in the laboratory.
Yeah. Hey, I'm the same as well. I was in a meeting because, you know, the community, the acting community, where he brought on a agent, a talent manager, LA, New York, bi-coastal, and they are working on, well, they've actually got a feature film, and it's only industry related. Only friends and family and who was in the community that can actually go to the viewing party. And it was amazing yesterday just to hear 35 years of experience of the industry. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, once again, Sony doesn't give you this. Fox doesn't give you this. You know what I mean? There are stories that are told that are untold, that are things that are actually brought to the surface. But if you're in the right place or in the right space, they're happy. They're happy to kind of like give you, I don't want to say piece of the pie because I want the whole damn pie. There's no piece for me. I'm claiming my spot. You know what I mean? I want it all. And I don't want to say I don't want to share, but I'm like, no. But I know I'll be sharing because that's just who I am. But it was just amazing that I love the fact that you're in your own lab. You're curating your own lab. You know what I mean? You're stirring the pot and you bring it to fruition, which I love. Because you know me, I'm out here in LA. You know what I'm like. I'm in between like workshops, casting workshops, meetings, agent meetings, I'm just like, whoa, in that sense. So you just keep working on you. I'm glad that resurfacing, bring things back, which is great. It always goes a long way. And you just keep working on it. Just, and as I said, if you need anything, like, for example, industry related, like SAG, or if you need, a micro budget, just any of that, just reach out and I'll ring the union. I'll get, and they'll send it to me and I'll send it to you. So you've got an outline, you know what I mean? Because it goes a long way. Like I said, any of those meetings, like if there's any indie meetings like SAG, I'll send it to you. By all means, come in, come join, come learn, you know what I mean? And then, as you know, which we're doing, we're creating our own blueprint at the end of the day. So, yeah.
I appreciate that. And I'm definitely going to hit you up. I got something I'm about to work on here.
It's okay. It's okay. No, do your thing, man. You have a great day.
We're going to talk. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep on doing what you're doing. And,
yeah. On the hustle, on the grind.
be safe out there.
Yes, I will. You too. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Take care.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, maybe rip bones. But no matter how close I am, my ancestors speak. They tell me they're tired as a friend on a slack real weak. I haven't been getting sleep. Long in this singing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed. Begging that generations remember our story.